Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Down the Stretch, the Solano Stallions podcast. My name is Carter Scott, and I'm joined today by our brand new co-host, Justin Brown. Justin, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Can't complain.
Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, new on the pod?
Okay. My name is Justin Brown, or I just simply go by JB. It's pretty much what everybody calls me. I'm a Vallejo native. Grew up here in Solano County, so I'm definitely excited about this. Played in high school. Didn't play in Vallejo, but played in Richmond. Then on to play in college. Then on to play a couple years overseas. So I love basketball, love sports in general. And I'm excited. I'm excited to just talk sports, talk Solano County, just have fun with this.
Basically, what he's saying is he's a lot more qualified to talk about this stuff than me, pretty much. All right, Justin, let's get into the fast break. We've got 5 topics, 30 seconds each today. Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. So right now, the rumors circling the NFL, Antonio Brown possibly heading to Seattle to meet up with Russell Wilson. What do you think about that?
I mean, as a Niner fan, I hope that doesn't happen just because if he can get Pittsburgh AB, it could be some problems. But in terms of, chemistry, he could make or break them. So, it's kind of a risk that they've got to be willing to take. And, I like AB, so I hope it works out wherever he goes, just hopefully not Seattle.
Yeah, as a Raider fan, AB can stay as far away as possible from the NFL. Next up, we got the World Series currently going on at time of recording. Game 3 is tonight. The series is tied 1-1. Who you got winning this one?
Tampa, hopefully. I'm a Red Sox fan, so I cheer for Mookie Betts. Unfortunately, he's playing for the Dodgers right now. So I cheer for success for him, but I think Tampa's going to take this one.
Yeah, as a Giants fan, it's pretty much illegal to root for the Dodgers. And now that I know that you're a Red Sox fan, you literally could have sent him anywhere, and you sent him to the Dodgers, dude. Unbelievable.
I know, man. I know.
Next up, some hockey. Joe Thornton has left the Sharks officially, signed with Toronto. Personally, for me, he's literally played for the Sharks my entire life, and I'm 22. So this is a big loss for me. How you feeling about the move to Toronto?
I try to root for the Sharks, man. It's year after year. They're supposed to be good. They finish first or second in the West, you know what I mean? And everybody thinks they're going to the Stanley Cup. And then, boom, they end up losing. I wish them success in Toronto. I know it sucks for Sharks fans. But hopefully he can be successful over there. And hopefully the Sharks can find, a good enough replacement for him. That's a big loss.
Yep. Next up, new report out from Shams today saying the NBA is reportedly planning to start December 22nd in a 72-game season ending before the Olympics. Do you think this is a good idea to start so soon, or do you think they should put more time off?
I understand why they're starting so soon. You got to do something to try to get everything back on track. I just hope, for teams that have been playing in the bubble, teams that played deep into the bubble, I hope they can find some way to get some rest, hopefully keep everybody injury-free, and hopefully my Lakers repeat.
And finally, some local Warrior news. They've been working out a lot of guys, but the rumor currently going around is Bradley Beal to the Warriors. You think that's a good signing?
Unfortunately, I think that would be a very good signing. And they have the pieces to trade for him, you know what I mean? Bradley Beal, he'll be a free agent after this year. They'll have to try to re-sign him, after this year. But, if that's a trade that they make, you got 3 of the best shooters in the league, man. 2 of the best shooters in the world. Yeah. So it's going to be tough.
All right, that was the fast break. Justin Brown, nice going. Next up, we've got a great interview with Jordan Hickman coming up. A lot of experience overseas, and now he's back. And literally, while we were recording the podcast, he was waiting to get his his paperwork to get back overseas to Spain. Great interview with him. Coming up next. All right, joining us today is Stallions player Jordan Hickman. Thanks for hopping on the pod today, Jordan.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So first off, just tell us a little bit about your basketball path growing up in Vallejo, kind of how you found basketball and eventually found the Stallions.
Yeah, so growing up, I mean, I played a lot of different sports. My parents just, wanted me to be pretty active, so I grew up playing like t-ball and soccer and all types of random stuff. And then I got turned on to basketball when I was in about 4th grade. And ever since then, like that was the one sport that like really stuck with me and like I really enjoyed and didn't feel like it got forced onto me. So I just kept playing basketball, and like as the years went on, just got better and better, and just a lot of hard work went into it. But I mean, that's the beauty of it. Just seeing your hard work all pay off has been cool. And the last season I was playing in Spain, and I had came back because coronavirus had canceled our season.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was back, I had spoken with the Stallions before when I had played in it was like a Vallejo versus Fairfield alumni game, and they were interested in like having me out and having me around. So they reached out to me again and asked if I wanted to play on the team, and of course I had to say yes. I couldn't, I mean, basketball is my first love, so anytime I get the chance to play, I definitely hop on the opportunity. So I've been practicing with the Stallions for last couple of months now. I mean, we've been going for a while, and it's been good. So it's been a lot of fun. Those guys are really competitive, and they like to play, and they like to win, and they have a good coaching staff too.
Nice, man. Now, where are you from? You from Vallejo?
Yeah, I'm from Vallejo.
Oh, okay. Nice. Same here.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, man. So, how important is it to have the local community support for the future of the team?
Man, for the future of the team, it's big. I mean, to be in a place like, especially us, we're kind of based out of the Solano area, kind of Fairfield area, but just having the whole type of like Vallejo, Fairfield, like all the local cities around you to support you and come out to games is a really big thing. Even if we could expand it more to like the Bay Area or more like into the San Francisco area, Oakland, obviously they have their own ABA teams, but the more support you can have backing a team, the better, I mean, the more fan support, the better the games will be. And I mean, the more talent you can bring in too with like a wider area that you can pull talent from. So the more, the better, man. I mean, we have a solid backing now, but I think as the team is pretty young right now, the future of the team is really bright. So.
Nice. Yeah, with especially the closest NBA team out here is Sacramento, maybe
Sacramento.
San Francisco now. Yeah, so just to have that local support for the local team, that's definitely big.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know you mentioned you mentioned earlier that you played other sports. Did you have another sport or career in mind that you'd want to be doing if it wasn't for basketball?
Man, there was a few sports I played. I played t-ball, and it never got past that. So I don't think baseball would have been. I don't think baseball would have been the one. I played some soccer. I was a goalie for a little bit because I was always a lot taller and longer than other kids. So I was pretty good at goalie. Soccer would be fun. This is too much running.
For real.
Man, I don't know. If it wasn't for basketball, I don't know what I'd be doing. I would definitely probably be in some other ventures. I'd probably be more of an academic, I suppose. But I don't know. As far as other sports, I think basketball is the perfect sport for me, and I couldn't see myself playing any other one.
What do you think are some of the strengths you bring on and off the court to the team?
On the court, I would say my biggest strength is versatility. I feel like I can play a number of different positions and kind of just fill a role of whatever your team needs. So I can play my normal position is like the 3 or the 4, but I mean, if it calls for it, I can handle the ball. I can rebound well. I can play defense. I defend the paint. I could do kind of a jack of all trades. I need to hone up my skills a little bit so I can get better at doing all those things. But right now, I could definitely do all those things and help a team improve. Off the court, I would say just experience. I've played basketball, I mean, just like most guys, but just for your whole life. And I mean, it takes you different places for sure. But I think the experience of you know, playing in high school, having to go to junior college, transferring to, you know, like a Division II school, just all my different experiences. I think all of that, bringing it together and just being able to be professional is a big thing that I think that we want to bring forward to the Stallions too, bring to other guys.
So you mentioned that you're like a jack of all trades. Is there any player growing up or now that you kind of modeled your game after?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I was just watching DeMar DeRozan highlights last night. I really like DeMar DeRozan. I really like his mid-range game. I've always been a big fan of Sean Livingston. I like the way he just, you know, he could use his body really well. He wasn't overly muscular or anything, but the way he used his body to get to his spots, I found that really interesting. But if I'm talking about like big star players, I obviously like Kevin Durant's a big one. I really like Carmelo Anthony. He's one of my favorites. But man, that's a tough question because there's a lot of different players I can see myself pulling different things from.
So do you kind of building off that, like all these players kind of have their own like pregame routines and rituals. Do you have something yourself that you kind of every game day you like eat a certain thing or you do something a certain way?
Man, I wouldn't say it's a ritual, but before every game, you know, I got a playlist that I'll listen to. I got my music set up to like how I like it and to get me going. So that's the biggest thing that I would say is the most consistent is just the music that I'll listen to before a game. Always gets me motivated.
You got like a top song on that playlist that you never skip? It's always on right before a game?
Man, anything YFN Lucci is a never skip before a game.
Okay.
And I'll be singing at the top of my lungs.
Okay. That's not a bad choice. Well, first of all, congrats on heading back overseas to play ball in Spain. I know that's big. I got a couple of friends that I believe are still over there or were just over there like this past season.
Yeah.
And they loved it out there. So, but just tell us a little bit about how you ended up getting scouted to play overseas and what playing over there has been like.
Yeah, so originally after I had finished my senior year at Sonoma State, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I mean, you just graduate. It's like, damn, like I got to move back home. I got to do all this stuff. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But some dude had reached out to me on Facebook about this basketball camp in Spain. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm about to go to this camp. This might be a ripoff. I don't know what's going on. But I knew one guy who had gone to the camp, and he ended up playing on a team out there. So I had reached out to him, and he told me all about it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just, you know, take this chance and kind of just bet on myself and see what happens. I went out there. I played pretty well. Ended up signing on to a team that wanted me to try out for them. And then the rest was history. I was there for, man, I don't even know. I was there for a few months. Had to come back because my paperwork wasn't straight. But then went back and got to play some games. And then coronavirus had hit. So that stopped our season, which sucks. But, I mean, everything happens for a reason. And it was good to get back and, like, put some more work in before, you know, heading back out there pretty soon. So.
So coming from here to overseas, how big of an adjustment is that? Like basically moving your entire life across the globe to play?
Whew, it's a lot. It's hard right now just thinking about it because, you know, you have to leave your family. Hang on one second, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, so I'm back. I just got my passport.
Oh, safe. All right.
Congratulations.
Going off of your question, man, it's different. So, I mean, when I first got out there, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, you see a bunch of movies and stuff, and you're like, all right, it might be like this, but you don't really know until you get there. So when I first got there and I'm just, you know, hanging out, I try and go talk to somebody, and they don't know what the heck I'm talking about. They only speak Spanish. Like, so, I mean, the language barrier was like a really big thing at first until I got to the team I'm on now, because a lot of my teammates somewhat speak English, but I mean, for the most part, they understand what I'm talking about, which is good. But being so far away from your family, the language barrier, those things like off the court are really huge. On the court, I would say the biggest difference between playing here and playing there is the way that they move the ball is a really big difference. Like in America, there'll be moments, you know, where you have a guy and he could just break somebody down off the dribble every time. So you give him the ball, you know, like, and just like kind of ISO him. But out there, It's a lot of ball movement, a lot of just player movement, moving their body. It's really, not really, but like a little bit more physical. They don't call as many calls, especially not for Americans. So I'd be out there getting smacked around. But, but it's fun. I mean, it's really cool. It's a good experience for sure, but it's a little different.
Yeah, I know from experience how different the language barrier could be, how difficult it is to just kind of deal with that. Yeah, it can get difficult, definitely. But I mean, does that all fade away kind of once you get onto the court and get between those lines and just play?
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the court, at the end of the day, you're just hooping. So obviously there's some communication things that may happen, but I think being out there, you learn at least the basics as far as basketball communication, to being able to like call screens or which direction the screens are coming from. So it's mainly on the defensive end, and then offensively, at the end of the day, you're just kind of out there hooping. So, I mean, the best thing about it, I always say, is I don't speak Spanish, or I don't speak it, well. So whenever I would maybe mess something up and coach is yelling, I don't know what he's talking about, so I can't even be mad. Like, I can't get down on myself if I don't know what he's talking about. So that's always a good thing. I saw that as a plus.
Yeah. Well, basketball is a universal language anyway, so.
Yeah, definitely.
So finally, last question here for you. Do you have any advice or tools that you can pass on to players to help them reach that level of heading overseas, like how you stay motivated or what it takes from like a mental and physical perspective?
Yeah, man, you just can't give up. You can't give up. And that sounds super corny, but it's real. Like, a lot of people are going to count you out and, like, not expect anything of you. Like, of course, everybody wants to play overseas. So when you tell somebody, like, that's your dream, it's like, man, everybody wants to do that. What makes you think you're going to be able to do it,
Mm-hmm.
So you just can't give up. You just got to keep working, believe in yourself. I mean, you got to take risks, too. Like, I went to that camp. I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying a camp is the only way you can go or whatever, but, like, there's going to be risks and opportunity for you to either take that risk or let it pass. But sometimes you just got to take that risk and bet on yourself and, just make it happen. So.
It's awesome.
I definitely understand what you're saying. I mean, I try to instill that in my kids. They, all these high school kids, they just want to go straight from high school to D1.
Yeah.
And I try to tell them that everybody's path is different, man. Like, just because you don't go D1 doesn't mean your career is over. It's D2, D3. I know plenty of D2, D3 NAIA guys who worked hard and, made it to their dream to play overseas.
That is very true. I know a lot of Division II NAIA guys that are better than some D1 guys, man.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, where you go to school. None of that. It just matters like what you got in your heart and how much you want to put into it,
Mm-hmm.
And then the opportunity is going to come. So you just got to stay focused. It's going to be hard. Like, it's definitely not easy, but once you find that, like, that inner motivation in your grind, you just got to keep sticking with it for sure.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's Jordan Hickman, literally in the process of getting his passport so he can go back to Spain to play ball. Thanks for hopping on the pod, though, in between your packing and your government work.
Yeah, we appreciate
you. Me on. I really appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks, Jordan.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much again to Jordan Hickman for hopping on the pod this week. He was a great listen. Really appreciate him taking his time out while he's trying to get his passport and go back to Spain to come talk to us for a little bit and talk about his experiences. He's done a lot in the world of basketball, and we're happy to have him on. Justin, any closing thoughts?
Just wanted to say thank you to Jordan. Thank you to everybody that's out there listening. We hope you guys enjoyed. We hope you guys continue to listen. And don't be afraid to hit us up on social media with any questions or suggestions that you guys might have. We love getting to know you guys, love just talking sports with you guys. So just hope you enjoyed and hope you continue to follow.
Yeah, hit us up at Solano Stallions on all social platforms, including YouTube. Any suggestions for anybody you want on the pod or anybody you want us to talk about, please let us know. Hopefully you decide to join us next time. And if you do, we'll see you then.
Yes, sir.